Alright guys, so let's move into the Hangman card. Let's feel what we feel and see what we see and notice what we notice when we move into the card. So when I move into this card and I imagine myself that I'm hanging from the tree and I'm thinking what this guy might be thinking and I'm feeling what he might be feeling, it feels to me like outside circumstances have put him here, right? Like, I don't know anybody who purposely ties himself to the tree, right? It's like somebody else has put them there. So what that kind of means to me energetically, emotionally, as I move into this card, is that this person feels like outside circumstances have put him in suspension, right? Like outside circumstances have made it so that he feels like his life is on hold, or things are not moving forward, or he is unable to move forward, obviously because he's tied up, right? So there's some sort of feeling in the body of these outside things have put my life on hold. They've created this pause. I can't move forward. I'm kind of in like suspended animation, and it almost feels like waiting for somebody to come along and cut you down from the tree, which feels to me like waiting for someone to come along and like give you a message or give you something so that you can then move forward and you can stop being in suspended animation. So maybe in your life you're waiting for a verdict, or you're waiting to hear from someone, or you're waiting to hear from a job offer, or you're waiting to hear from a lover or something, right? You know, just depending on what the reading is about is gonna give you more insight into that. So there's this feeling of waiting, there's this feeling of a delay, there's this feeling of just literally being in suspended, and it's kind of like, well, all right, here I am, right? So the guy on the card, he doesn't look like he's in anguish, he doesn't look like, you know, he's in any sort of pain or anything. He's just hanging out. So the next thing that I get from this card is like kind of like accepting where you are, accepting that you're in suspension, accepting that things are on hold, accepting that you just got to be right where you are right now, and that's okay, right? You don't need to move forward at this exact second. And it's almost like maybe it's the best thing that I have to sit here right now, right? Like maybe it's the best thing that I have to be suspended and I have to be on pause at the moment, right? So that, what that makes me think of is like, okay, well, how is this for my greatest and best good? So this is a really good question for the Hangman. When you feel like something is delaying or stopping you, it's a really good, empowering thing to think, that's very interesting. How curious. How is this helping me? How is this for my greatest and best good? And how is this going to allow me to see things differently, right? Because of the situation and circumstances that have happened, because I'm in suspense, or excuse me, because I'm in suspended animation, because I'm on pause, right? Now I have time to reflect. And now I have time to contemplate. And now I have time to kind of like see everything from a different perspective, right? And that is one of the key things of this card, seeing things from a different perspective. So you have time to like look around and observe and notice what you notice, right? We don't often find ourselves upside down, right? So if you're this guy and you're hanging on the tree and you're just standing there and you're looking around, it's like, okay, you see everything that you see every day, but now you're seeing it from a new perspective. So it would be very advantageous to ask yourself the question, what do I notice now that I'm on pause, right? What do I notice from this vantage point? What do I see differently, right? And those are really good contemplation questions and reflection questions if you get the Hangman card, right? Because and this is my belief, everything gets to happen for your highest and best good, and you, like, everything in your reality gets to support you, okay? And those are like my internal like meta rules and things that I believe in that are foundational beliefs from my reality. So if I got this card, I'd be like, okay, well, how is this helping me? How is this alternate perspective helping me? What is the alternate perspective? What do I notice now that I have time to rest, that I have time to pause, that I have time to contemplate? Like, what is it that I need to see? That's another really good question. What is it that I need to see, right? If this is happening for my greatest and best good, right, then, what is the gift, right? What is the gift? So we can look at this card and we can interpret it as it is a positive thing that we're on hold. It's a good thing, right? Even if initially, emotionally, we were like annoyed at like the suspense or the pause or the whatever, you know, it does give you the breathing room, it does give you the space, and it does give you the perspective to come to new conclusions and to have new insights and to see your world in a different way that maybe you wouldn't have gotten if you weren't on pause. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten if you were like kind of suspended waiting for something to happen. So while you're waiting for whatever that thing is to happen, you can still get insight, you can still get nourishment, you can still get spiritual insight, you can still get a totally new perspective, right? Because when this guy's cut down from the tree, he is a changed man, right? So you get to have that be your reality also. You get to have a totally new perspective, new information, new experience, and new things that are going to allow you to move forward faster and, you know, be more in alignment as a result of having this situation where everything had to be paused and everything had to be in suspense for a little while, okay? So this is a good time for reflection, holding still, contemplation, asking yourself empowering questions and what it is that you need to see from this situation. Because as soon as you see what you need to see, you can like get down from the tree and we can move on the hero's journey here, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is the reverse energy of the Hangman, okay? And the thing that I want to talk about this is that in this card, it feels like, well, outside circumstances kind of created this pause situation in your life. Well, when I reverse that energy, what I feel is like, no, outside circumstances didn't create it, like you created the pause, right? Like somehow you like, you know, did something that have created this pause. So what is that thing, right? Like what do you need to acknowledge and see? Like, did your fussiness create it? Like, did you create it because you wanted it to? And, you know, I would, of course, you know, use your intuition to figure out what that might be if you do feel like you need to energetically go in that direction. But one of the things that this can mean in reverse is, okay, it's you, like you did this, like, so why'd you do it, right? Like, what was it you were trying to accomplish by like stopping everything, by putting everything on pause, okay? So that's the first thing that I noticed when this card is reversed. The second thing that I notice when I feel into this is like some internal resistance with moving forward, right? Like, so here it was, oh man, these things outside of me are stopping me from moving forward. Now it's like, no, I don't want to move forward. Like something inside me is telling me, I don't know if that's the right path for me. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause, right? And be like, wait a minute. So this would be the energy of, okay, I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to pause everything. I'm going to contemplate. I'm going to reassess, right? I'm going to reassess what I've been thinking. I'm going to reassess my motivations. I'm going to reassess my reasoning behind making a choice or deciding to do something or go along a certain path. Okay, the other thing I feel with this is wanting to change course, right? You've been sitting, you've been contemplating, you've been thinking, and now you're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go on a different path here, right? Like, I was thinking I wanted to go that way, but now I'm like, yeah, I really want to go that way, okay? So this can mean different decision, different path, new choice. Okay, the last thing that I'm kind of emotionally picking up about this card being reversed is that stalling on not just moving forward, but making a decision and like hoping that like things will just like resolve themselves, right? Like, well, maybe this will just happen and I just won't have to do anything and I can just kind of like hang out here and like things are just gonna happen for me and I'm just gonna have to do nothing, right? I'm just gonna be like hands off, right? And that is not a very empowering way of being, and it's that's not what's gonna change things, right? So this like stalling and like hopeful wishing, oh my goodness, maybe something will happen and I can just like walk right into it, like that's probably not going to occur, okay? So those are all the things that I feel from the Hangman reverse. Let's go into the next card.